I like being early in a creative journey. Like I like the beginnings. It's always fun to be early in a creative journey, as in like I'm not that good at it yet, right? So like as a drummer freestyler, I'm still early in my journey, you know, and the drummer freestyler I aspire to be, I don't think there's ever been one actually. So like he's as of yet imaginary, but the drummer freestyler that I want to be is much better than the one that I am currently, which is great. And I actually really like that. And it's fun to be a beginner because when you're a beginner, everything you learn is so groundbreaking and pivotal, right? And so it's like that whole, what is that called? Dunning-Kruger effect, I think. We can fact check that, but it's the whole concept that when you're first learning something, it's really fun and exciting, and you actually end up feeling like you're really better at the thing than you actually are because you're learning these like big foundational pieces so quickly. And you're like, oh, I figured out how to do this now, you know? It's like, oh, I figured out I can maintain this boom bap beat, you know, while I do a 16th note freestyle, and I can actually do that well. Hell yeah, I'm killing it. You know, and so there's these big building blocks that you stack on at the beginning. And then as you get more advanced, the building blocks get smaller and more detail oriented. And then when you're really advanced, it's like you've been working 3 years to add the same little last grain of sand, you know, and you don't know if you're ever going to add it. So it's fun to be early in the creative journey.
That's cool, man.
Sense.
It's
Yeah.
interesting too that you're just combining like two things that you aren't early in your creative journey with. Much the opposite. You're expert at both.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And I think that sometimes gets in the way a little bit because I know I'm a good drummer and I know I'm a good freestyler, but when I put them together, I can't be as good at either of them as I feel like I should be.
Sure.
So it's humbling. It's humbling. I have to be like, man, no, like be about what you talk about. Like I tell my students, like, don't move ahead to the next thing when you still have so far to go on this foundational piece, right? And I'm basically asking them to have this like immense amount of patience and trust in the process. So if I'm going to ask that of my students, like I'm asking them to be incredibly mature. Like just trust the process and be patient and be singularly focused and trust me, it will pay off. So now it's like I have to look in the mirror and turn that advice back to myself and be like, hey man, like you know how this works. You know, it's not going to happen overnight.